So this site is primarily composed of pages as well as some widgets and some widgets in the footer area that we'll see and a navigation menu. And we're going to go over all of those sections, but in this video what I want to show you is to change the main content of the pages. And when I say page content, I'm referring to this area over here where the main content of each page changes. The content down here, this is the footer content right here, and over here we have the sidebar right here. So what I want to do is I want to show you in this particular video how to change the content of any page on the site. This system is built using a visual page builder called the Swift Page Builder, which is part of the Pinpoint framework. So there are two ways to get to these individual pages to edit them. If I'm in the administrative interface, I can come over here to Pages. And now, one thing you should know about the administrative interface is when you hover over any of these links, you're going to get you get a side menu that slides out over here. Be aware that what you're hovering over right here, is the exact same link as you're going to get as the first link that's going to come over here in the sidebar. So just be aware of that. Almost all the time, you're going to see library, media, links, pages, all pages. And when you click these, they're actually going to take you to the same place. As you can see, I'm here in the interface that says pages. If I go to links, and then it opens up the links interface, which you're not going to see. There's some example links right now. I come back over here to pages and I slide out over here, and it's going to take me directly to that same page, as you can see. So just be aware that in these menus, if you're going to be clicking on this, you can just as easily click on this. And this is something about WordPress that you should be aware of. Usually when it comes to doing things in WordPress, there's usually more than one way to do them. For instance, if I want to add a new page, underneath the pages menu is the selector to add a new page. But over here, there's also this selector to add a new page. And up here under this menu, I could also add a new page. So as you see, there are shortcuts all over the place, and WordPress makes it very, very easy to add content and edit content. This is a list of all the pages that we currently have on the site right now. You're going to notice that they're in a hierarchy. I've placed them in the hierarchy. This isn't necessary to do this, as these are not connected to the menu system, besides the fact in the order that they're in, they're not connected to the menu system in this order. The pages in the menu system is separate, so just because you add pages to the site, or just because you have pages as subpages, as subpage or child pages of certain pages, doesn't mean that you need to do that in the menu. That is not required, and we'll go over that in a later video. But right here, you'll see all the pages that we have in the area, and you'll see that over here underneath services, you'll see this little line that comes out, and this represents that these are child pages of these pages, is what they are. Now, to edit any of these pages that we have on the site, for instance, let's say I wanted to edit the About Us page over here. So I can come in here into this area, and I can click either on this link right here or the edit link. They take us to the exact same place, which is the WYSIWYG editor for the site. And it's going to take a moment to load. When it loads, it's going to not just load WordPress, the regular WordPress interface, but it's going to load the Swift Page Builder. And if you take a look at the Swift Page Builder and you begin to look at it, you're going to see a physical representation of the page here that has the ability to drag and drop and change the order of items on the page without writing any code. I come over here and you'll see I have our mission statement, which is right here in this box. Then I have a divider, and that's right here. Then I have a picture, and that is right here. Then I have another divider below that picture, and that is represented here. Then I have a text block, another divider. We'll see that represented here, text block divider. And last thing we have is this picture going all the way across, and we see that represented here in pictures. So not can we just move this content around and change the order of it, but we can also do other things too. I could change the size of this content over here, and now make this only half as wide. And now when I save the page and I come over here, and that's saving the page, by the way, coming over here to update, this will either say update or publish. If the page has never been published, it's going to say publish, which means that it's a new page. Otherwise, it will always say update. In this system, you'll always run into this button up here, almost always saying update. And that updates the page. Any changes that you make in here to the page, none of them go live on the outside of the site until you click update right here. And now that I've done that, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to refresh the page. And now you're going to see the mission statement has been pushed over to one side and I've just got a blank area right here. That doesn't look very good. But what if, like, let's say I had the mission statement over here and I wanted to have another area of text over here? Well, this is a text block. This is a divider. This is a picture block. These are all added to the system from here. And I can come up here, and this says choose elements, and you see we have all these elements here. We're not going to go over all of these because the only ones currently used in the system right now are the dividers that we've seen, as well as the text blocks that have text in them, and then, of course, the single images. That's what primarily are going to make up a site, are going to be areas of dividers so that we can make a clear division of the page and let people know this is one portion of content and this is another, and so we use dividers to do that. And then we have single images that we're going to have, and then we have text blocks that are going to be the primary content of our page. So those are what we're going to go over here in this video, is each one of these right here. Now I can click and you see I add a divider, and then down here all the way set at the bottom, I've now got a divider in here. Okay, which is nice. I'll put a little line underneath that picture, and that's fine. We can leave that there. But whenever I add anything from this elements list, it's going to come right down here at the bottom. Okay, well, I don't actually want that divider there, so how do I get rid of it? Well, there are three icons you're going to see on each element, no matter what they are. One is to edit the element. The other is to clone the element. I'm going to show you what that's going to do in a minute. And this one right here is to delete the element. Well, I don't want that divider there, so I'm going to go ahead and instead of moving it up anywhere, I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. So I'm going to click that. It's going to say, do I want to delete that? I'm going to click OK, I do. Mind you, while I've been working on this, nothing has been changed up here in the front. As you can see, I can refresh the page. Nothing's been changed. It's the exact same. It will load exactly like it was before. Okay. But what if I want another text block over here? I could add a text block and then change the size of it and drag it up here. Or I could come right over here to clone because you see I've already got this size the way I want it. This allows me to size things right over here and change the size of them from 3/4 to 2/3 to 1/2 to 1/3 and all the way down to 1/4. Okay. Well, I've already got this, what I want here. I'm not going to want this content. I'm going to want this content to be different. But what I want is another text block to put right over here. So I can just come right here and click clone. And the system automatically takes and puts the corresponding block right in here for me. Now, of course, I don't want that content, of course. I want the content to be different, so how do we alter that? That's where we come into this little edit screen right up here. This is a little button right here. Now, every time you open this up, it's going to be different depending on what type of widget this is. Okay, this is a text box. Okay, so since this is a text box, we're going to get an area for a title, which we're not using in this system. Okay, it's not the titles don't format properly for the system, so we're not using them in this system because some areas would use them and some areas don't, and they look a little funny. So we're not putting them in there. If you want, what we've done is we've just added a simple header up here to the top. It's a heading 2, and we've centered it, and then, we've centered it, and we put some content below it. But you see, this is all nice because this is already formatted. Since I cloned that box, everything got formatted the way I wanted. That format carried right over, which means all this is centered. I don't have to come in here and add this and center it. And all of this is already has a bold added to it, and it's already in a paragraph format. So I can just come in here and change this from mission statement to, let's say, latest news. And I could come down here and change this text in any way I wanted to. And then when I was done, I would come down here and click Save, and then come over here and click Update. So once I've done that, now I come out here and refresh the page. And you'll see over here, now I have another block of text with latest news put in there. So I don't actually want that there, so I do want to go ahead and get rid of that. So I'm going to come over here and just click X. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and change this back so that it goes all the way across the content area and then come in and refresh. Very, very easy to change text content. So what about the other content? We see these dividers. What can we change in a divider? Well, you'll notice that when I click the edit for divider, I only get a few selections. One is the go to top text. and that is only used in these. And what that is that changes the divider from a solid divider to one that has a solid line on each side and a little bit of text in the middle. Okay, and these two have an icon on them. And I can say what I want that text in the middle to be by filling this in right here. So you have 6 different divider types that you can use. You have a standard, a thin, and a dotted. And then you have 3 different types that have text in the middle, and you can define what that text is. That's all that you can do on the divider widget. So the divider widget is very limited. As I come down here to the image one, though, and I click on this, you notice the image one is a bit more different. It has quite a few more selections. One is the image itself. So to add an image, when you first have one of these in here, this image, this is going to be blank. It's just going to have a placeholder, and you're going to need to add an image, which you do by clicking here, and it will show you what's in the image library already. And if you don't want to use any of those images that are in the image library, not a problem. You just come down here, and you can go on your computer and select files, or you can drag and drop files from your desktop and just drop them into this area right here, and they will go ahead and get uploaded. So very, very easy to do, very simple to do. And like let's say I was going to change it out to that picture, I would just click that, and that would change that out to that picture automatically. Then the only thing I would do is click Save and Publish. Of course, that's not what I want to do, so I'm going to cancel that here in a minute. But I want to talk about what these other things do. Image size should always be full. This is a responsive system, so the image size you're always going to put as full, you're always going to want to put as full. The system will automatically adjust the image size accordingly based on the screen width of the device that the person is using to view the site. Over here is an image frame. We use a border frame pretty much throughout the site. There's also a glow frame and a shadow frame. A glow frame and shadow frame are pretty much the same. The only difference is the glow is white and the shadow is black. And all it does is place a slight shadow or a slight glow around your image. The border frame places a 4-pixel with white frame that has a shadow behind it that goes around it slightly. So that's what that does. And then we use border frame mostly around the area because it looks really nice. Full width you want to leave to no, and then this will automatically be checked to yes when you first add the widget. You want to make sure that you select that to no. And what that does is when the person hovers over it and they click on that image, it will open up in a light box. And generally speaking, you're not going to want to do that throughout the system. But for some reason, that's automatically enabled. So this is the one thing you will want to be sure right here where it says enable lightbox link. Go ahead and check no. And then you would go ahead and click save. I'm going to go ahead and click cancel though. And click update, and that will update your page. And we'll go out here and refresh the page, and we'll see. The picture did not change because I did not tell it to update. I clicked cancel. But had I said update, it would have gone and put in a different picture in that area right there. So that is how you primarily edit pages, the dividers, the text, and the picture content on the page. In the next video, we're going to go over these widgetized areas over here in the sidebar and the footer, and I'll show you exactly how to alter content in those and also how to rearrange content.